In this video, I am going to derive the equation for calculating the maximum height in projectile motion. If you launch the projectile at certain angle theta with some initial velocity, the projectile will undergo parabolic trajectory, which is indicated here in the red color line. When the projectile reaches the maximum height, the velocity in the y direction will be 0. Now, for calculating the maximum height equation, I am going to use the third equations of motion with constant acceleration, which we studied in the second chapter. So that equation is nothing but v square, which is equal to v naught square plus 2 into a into delta x. Here, the height calculation is related with y-axis, so I can remodify this equation in terms of y-axis. Therefore, v square, which is equal to v naught square plus 2 into a into delta y. When you deal this concept in terms of y-axis, here the acceleration is considered to be negative of g. So by that, when you substitute this a, which is equal to minus g in this equation, the above equation will become v square, which is equal to v naught square minus 2 into g into delta y. Now we are just considering the vertically upward motion, so I have to deal with the velocity in y-axis. By that, I can remodify the equation again as v of y square, which is equal to v naught of y square minus 2g delta y. When the projectile reaches the maximum height, the velocity in the y direction will be 0. By that, we have to substitute v of y, which is equal to 0. But here, in the second part of the equation, we have v naught of y, which is nothing but here, this v naught of y is deal with the sine component, which we already studied in step number 3, vector. So now, if you remodify this equation, you will get v of y square, which is equal to v naught sine theta the whole square minus 2 multiplied by g multiplied by delta y. Now I am going to substitute v of y, which is equal to 0. So by that, this equation will become 0, which is equal to v naught square sine square theta minus 2 into g into delta y. Now I am going to move this minus 2g delta y to the left hand side. By that, the above equation will remodify as 2g delta y, which is equal to v naught square sine 2 theta. Now our main objective to find the value of the height, here this height is nothing but this delta y. So therefore delta y, which is equal to v naught square sine square theta over 2 multiplied by g. So this delta y is nothing but, we have to consider this is our maximum height. So maximum height equation h, which is equal to v naught square sine square theta over 2g. You can rewrite this equation as h, which is equal to v naught sine theta the whole square over 2g. So this is the derivation for finding the maximum height in projectile motion. Clear? The most important thing here, if you just see the diagram here, the delta y is nothing but our height. So our main objective of this calculation is to find the equation for the height. So the equation for the height is given here as v naught sine theta the whole square over 2g. That's it. Thank you.